Cool. Fourth Annual University of Findlay College of Business Innovation competition. My name is Sherry Garner-Brumbaugh. I'm currently a UF trustee, and I chair the advancement committee of the board, and I chair the College of Business Advisory Board as well. And tonight I'm one of your judges, so I'm looking forward to that. My day job, I am president and CEO of Garner Trucking here in Findlay, and that's our website. But most notably this evening, I just want to tell you a little bit. I am the daughter of Vern Garner. And Vern and Jean Garner is my mother. They are the founders of Garner Trucking. And tonight the event is being funded by the Vernon E. Garner Entrepreneurial Endowment Fund. I was asked just to give a few minutes to talk about Vern, my father, and the endowment and how it came to be. I think the endowment contributions this evening will be one of the most significant gifts that are going to take place on the university this year, so we're very proud of that. To understand the roots of Vernon Garner entrepreneurship, I think the endowment fund, I think we need to know what my father's purpose was for the endowment fund. And I believe he wanted to support University of Findlay students' pursuit of entrepreneur interests. And I think my dad's intentions were not just for business majors, but for students across the campus. So I think tonight's event really suits the funds that will be given out tonight. My dad was a father, a husband. He loved his God, and he loved the University of Findlay. But tonight, I would like to highlight the word that really described my working dad, and that was entrepreneur. Understand, when he started his business in the early 1960s, I don't think the word entrepreneur was defined, let alone describe someone. But today, I think we would define being an entrepreneur in this way: being able to take action, risks, courage to commit, persevere through challenges and failures, but also I think it is to dream, encourage others to believe in your dream, and have financial success because of your dreams, your courage, and your perseverance. Vernon E. Garner was born in 1937 to parents who were business owners. Vern's parents owned and operated a grocery store in Wayne, Ohio. Much of his childhood days were spent helping his parents and working alongside them in the store. Vern graduated from high school in 1955 and married his high school sweetheart, my mother, Regina, or Jean, as she is preferred to be called. Today, that school system they graduated would be known as Elmwood School System. Vern's goals after graduating from high school was to buy a new car, a new Chevrolet. That was the hot car then. Like most of Dad's buddies, he got a job at a local factory. Typical of some factories, he got laid off a few times. And when he got laid off, and when things got slow and he got laid off, he would always find something to do, like driving the school bus, or working at the local gas station, or driving a truck. Being laid off from the factory several times, it always seemed that there was something to do with driving a truck. There was always work to be done, and he could always find work driving a truck. So eventually he gave up his time card and turned it in for a shifter. Vern Garner Trucking was launched in 1960. There was steady work in Findlay, so he and my mother and their 2-year-old daughter, my older sister, moved to Findlay. My dad drove truck, and my mom worked from their kitchen table, taking delivery orders for my dad to deliver, doing the paperwork, and doing all the accounting functions needed for the business. They were a great team. They worked hard through good times and bad times. They were able to grow the business to what it is today, with close to 100 trucks, 400 trailers, and we have 160 employees. Garner Trucking is well respected among our trucking peers, and the family culture that my parents built the company on, I'm proud to say, exists today. My parents always gave back to the community, and it was wonderful to experience and learn as their daughter. My father was a University of Findlay trustee. He was proud and honored to serve as a trustee. He was very humble. He never earned a college degree and thought he couldn't contribute, but we would always tell him he would be a great trustee, and he was. He was a father of 3 daughters, and we all went to different colleges. He always quipped, I contributed to enough of those universities. My heart is with the Oilers. Sadly, my dad is no longer with us. He passed away in 2007. But I'm sure he is cheering you all on tonight. Just know, in spirit, and with the financial gift from his heart, we will remember how important it is to dream big. I wish you all the best this evening. Good luck. Good luck to you all. And now I'm going to turn the program over to our MC, Dean of the College of Business, Dr. Damon Osborne.
Let's have one more round of applause for Sherry Garner Brumbaugh, not only a judge tonight, but through her family's generous donation, the benefactor for our program this evening. I'll introduce the judges first, then we'll go through an order of events, and we'll just kick it right off and get started with them. So you've already met Sherry. She'll be one of our judges. She is the CEO and president of Garner Trucking Incorporated. We also have Susan Treese. Yeah, Susan Treese is co-owner of Findlay Brewing Company. Love that place. Big fan. I didn't say that big a fan, but big fan. Carla Treadway, entrepreneur and owner of Tread's Gym, and Julie Williamson Wright, Vice President of Organizational Chain Management at Information Services Group. All right, here's how it's going down. We have 3 different categories, 4 groups in the first 2 categories, and then 3 groups in the last. The first category is Innovative Leadership, and I'll introduce each group in turn. Our first group to go this evening is 4 Paws. Come on down, 4 Paws.
Hello, today I would like to talk to you about my innovation leadership idea of bringing 4 Paws for Ability to the University of Findlay. I don't have a clicker. Starting off, I would like to introduce you to the 4 Paws for Ability. This is a nonprofit organization that is located in Xenia, Ohio, which provides task-trained service dogs to children with disabilities as well as veterans. And their goal is to enrich the lives of children with disabilities, veterans, as well as their families by providing them with task-trained service dogs to increase their independence as well as to educate the public about service dogs. As you can see on the screen, we have multiple pictures of everything that a service dog can do. Service dogs are trained to have many purposes in someone's life, starting with something as simple as opening doors to detecting seizures. All of these are very important aspects in helping someone with a disability as well as veterans. Specifically talking about the 4 Paws University program that I'm looking forward to bringing to the University of Findlay, this will provide students a way to interact with the organization 4 Paws for Ability and be trained to actually train service dogs on campus. This allows dogs to be trained on campus in the same type of educational facility that many students with disabilities will be in classrooms. So this is exposing and socializing the puppies at a young age. The university, or Fort Paws University, is generous enough to provide the puppies as well as all of the supplies that you would need to train and socialize the puppies while they would be at the University of Findlay, as well as they would train all of the students that would be interested in participating in this club. The club would actually be able to, all of the student handlers would be able to socialize and train the students on campus as well as off campus in all of their club activities and classroom. As you can see on the screen, Fort Paws for Ability is already partnered with 14 universities, starting with the founding University Wittenberg, which is a small school, as well as larger universities like Ohio State and the University of Cincinnati. This shows that the Fort Paws University program is already established and would be easily integrated into the Universities of Findlay's club activities. Through the club, we will have different levels of membership, starting with a general membership that would just be participating in club activities, as well as a puppy raiser who would have the 24/7 commitment of raising and training as well as socializing the puppies on campus. There's also puppy sitters, which will be an assistant to puppy raisers, which would allow, if the puppy raisers had a specific class that they would not be able to bring their dog to for safety reasons, they would be able to schedule a time to watch the dog, as well as help with the training and socialization of those dogs. There's also a weekend puppy raiser option, which would be watching dogs at over the weekend that are in advanced training. This would be specifically from Xenia, Ohio, and would only be over the weekends and would have to be returned for their advanced training during the week. We will also have many officer positions available. Oh, okay. Are there any questions?
So I have a few questions.
Mm-hmm.
Great idea. I'm a dog lover, so it fits right in my wheelhouse. I have just a couple questions, mostly maybe financial.
Mm-hmm.
If you've thought about the financial, how many club members do you feel you need to have enough cash to start or the very first year of the club?
Well, luckily, through the University of Findlay, SGA is very generous with providing funds, which I actually have started in the process of starting the club for next fall, and I already have 120 plus students interested in joining my club, as well as we will be collecting $10 for dues, so that would help start off the club financially, as well as participating in fundraisers to raise money for the club and selling clubwear.
Just one other question. Does University of Findlay housing allow dogs?
Yes. We are working, I have been working with the Office of Accommodations as well as the housing department, and I will be living in a on-campus house next semester, and they have already approved for me to have a Fort Paws dog living with me. Mm-hmm. Any other questions?
I have just a quick question. School is in session 10 months out of the year. What happens with the dogs, like over the summer?
Yes, good question. The Fort Paws for Ability, since it is a nonprofit organization, they will be able to take back the dogs if the student would not like to continue raising or sitting for them over the summer. So since they have their facilities in Xenia, Ohio, students would just have to drop them back off in Xenia, and then they will be able to register for a new dog in the upcoming year.
And are there any size restrictions with the university as far as breeds of dogs and things that they will allow?
So far, there has been no size restrictions that I know of. They have been really open to having the dogs on campus since they are service dogs.
So when the dogs are completed through this training service, are they sent back to Xenia then when they're finally done with their training so they can place them? Or do they stay local so it can help local families, or how does that happen?
They would be sent back to Xenia, and then Xenia has a program that locates the dogs worldwide. So they would be going to multiple people all around the world, not specifically locally.
Let's give it up one more time. Thank you so much. One more round of applause because she went first. Also, this is pretty embarrassing, but I just realized why Kirby had me do this, because I have no problem being awkward and getting up and stopping people. If I get up and I get next to you when you're going, it's because you're out of time. All right, our next group to go in the Innovative Leadership category is Service Class.
I'll just pick this up. Okay. I know I don't want to. Good? Okay. Hi, I'm Aaron Overheiser.
And I'm Marissa Pellis, and our innovative idea to promote on-campus leadership among students is Service Leadership 101. Service Leadership 101 is a class that emphasizes student leadership within the community while focusing on various nonprofit organizations. The mission of our course is to provide an alternative O1 Core Plus requirement, which is required for all students to fulfill for graduation. And the O1 course description for the university is it aims to demonstrate oral communication skills for students. But our course will also aim to promote student leadership, enhance understanding of nonprofit organizations, and strengthen students' public speaking skills. The budget for our course is non-existent, as all of our costs will be covered by student tuition, and we plan to market our course by developing a flyer as seen on the slide, and we will have to get this approved to post around campus, and we will also market this course by emailing students through the UF Update email account and notifying them on our Euler app. The logistics for this course include a classroom, preferably in the Egner Fine Arts Building, where most other communication courses are currently held. But any available classroom that can hold 20 students will work just fine. Our course will be offered on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 10 to 11:15 a.m. And we will be sure to closely monitor the student registration to ensure that our class is growing properly. And we will also be tracking the pass, fail, and drop rates of the students enrolled.
So for staff, this should be an easy sell. Developing a better community, building better leaders, and increasing nonprofit appreciation is very much a popular thing across campuses. But one of the things that we really wanted to focus on in this class is to build up the university reputation within the community. For students, it would give them an alternative for that O1 Core Plus requirement that you talked about, as well as provide a real-world application for business students and even other students that want to get out there and build up their resumes with the offered volunteer opportunities, and also give schedule relief for maybe busier students of other majors as we don't give any final exams. So evaluation of the class, we would give a final paper where students would pick a potential nonprofit group that they would like to possibly serve with, and that can kind of help us get an idea of what students have actually learned throughout the semester. A final project, we would want to give them a project that would give them the opportunity to present a unique idea in front of a board, kind of like this, and give them the opportunity to build up those public speaking skills and give them that alternative to that requirement. And then lastly, we'd have them do a task stream assignment, which is something we do on Blackboard here, which is kind of a survey to fill out and review the class and professor. So who's ready to develop better leaders and make the world a better place with Service Leadership 101?
Do you have any questions for us? Anybody?
I have a quick question. Would this be for upperclassmen? Would this be like a senior level capstone class, or?
It would be offered for all students. Currently, the only classes that fulfill the O1 course requirement are Communication 110, which is what I'm in as a freshman, and Communication 211. So that would be for upperclassmen, at least of sophomore status. So this would be for any students interested.
An elective. It would be an elective.
Mm-hmm. Yes. anything else.
Do you have any faculty right now that may be interested in teaching the class?
For my class that I'm currently in, we have a teaching assistant who teaches it, and I know there are other teaching assistants that generally teach like my COM 110 class. So if there are not any current faculty members, I'm sure they could find graduate assistants to help to teach it.
And I get a lot of questions about service opportunities on campus, and this would also give them, you know, business students that want to build up their resume a little bit more, maybe something that they can build on. Good? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
I didn't want to mess it all
You did
up.
great, man. It's like you do it for a living. All right, our next group to go in the innovative leadership category, I want to say ACES, right? ACES? Okay. Or ACES? Yeah, I get confirmation. Yes, exactly. Thank you very much.
Before I begin this presentation, I do want to issue the following warning. I just want to say I am going to be talking about the sensitive topic of active shooters, so if that is an issue for you, feel free to exit the auditorium or just exercise your caution while listening to this presentation. So, my name is Nicole Bosserman, and I'm here to talk to you about the Active Campus Emergency Seminar, or ACES for short. So as I was doing research for this project, I wanted to go ahead and give you guys some numbers. So in the year 2019, by March 25th, there had already been 61 active shooter cases. By the time I updated those numbers for this presentation on April 13th, that number jumped to 79. That means that there's been 18 active shooter cases in just the last 3 weeks. Everyone always says it's not going to happen to you and it's not going to happen at your school until it does. It can happen. So I started to wonder, I was like, well, why hasn't the university ever talked to us about this? We do fire drills. Why don't we do active shooter drills? Why don't we do any training on this? So I went looking to find out what the university's policy is, and I finally found it after clicking through many pages and finding a PDF on page 22. We have an active shooter policy that is run, hide, or fight. So I wanted to create a seminar that actually helps our students, give them skills that can help them save their own lives in the case of this dire, dire thing to happen. So the Active Campus Emergency Seminar would help students increase their awareness of the active emergency plans that the university has, because I don't know about anyone else, but I didn't even know we had one. They never talk about it, so I think that's something we do need to talk about for our own safety. But also give students the knowledge and tools they need to survive dire situations, and offer students the chance to get certifications in CPR and first aid. So I'm going to make this possible by having law enforcement or security officials teaching self-defense and disarming tactics. In the worst case, if you do have to fight for your life, you should know how to do it. But also having American Red Cross professionals giving the CPR and first aid information so that you know how to save someone's life if you need to. And those certifications can help you even later for some jobs that actually require you to be certified in CPR. It would also offer students leadership opportunities because they can help plan and run the seminar, and I expect it to last about 8 hours total over the course of 2 days early in the year. Ideally, it would take place in the Weinbrenner Theological Seminary, since that is a large room and we would have enough room to handle all the participants. So I thought that this would be bankrolled by the university. Since this is a university concern, that would be the ideal, but in the worst case, it's a budget of about $5,000 to rent the space and then pay for the labor, which is the instructors, law enforcement, and the Red Cross professionals, and also the administrative costs. It would be free to students, but if the people from the Findlay public would like to come in and do it, they'd have to pay about $5 just to help us offset the costs. For those who want to get certified, it would be $25 per certification, so that way the university doesn't have to pay for that. Since it is a resume booster for those students, it's something they can do if they want to. The mission of this seminar is to prepare today for a safer tomorrow. I know it's an uncomfortable topic, and I know that no one wants to think about this bad, terrible thing happening in our beautiful town and our beautiful campus, but it can happen. It does happen. So it's better that we talk about it and get it out of the way now so that if it happens, our students can be the leaders they need to be, help people who are less informed, and do what they need to do to survive. To help our vision, which is to increase community and campus safety by making life-saving education available for anyone who wants it in the Findlay area. So I hope that this presentation has been educational for everyone in the audience, and I hope that it encourages you to support the Active Campus Emergency Seminar. Thank you.
So, wonderful presentation, nice job. How do you think you'll get the students to come to this seminar?
Well, I would like to start by advertising, using posters, UF Update, you know, the typical things, but I also think students will, A, enjoy the opportunity to get CPR certifications, because I know we have a lot of equestrians here, and a lot of places that hire equestrian students, if you're going to be a riding instructor or barn manager, you have to be CPR certified for a lot of those jobs, so that alone will draw people in. But I also think that most students will be interested in going to this and finding out what they can do, because I think a lot of us are concerned about these issues because we see them in the news all the time. So I think they'll want to go.
Have you ever considered having this as a part of orientation at the University of Findlay? Because as a mother of a 29-year-old that went to college, I can tell you that I would completely support safety on campus.
Yeah, that would be the ideal, but just because I want it to be open also to just everyone else, maybe we have updated information, maybe we've changed some things, then that way the sophomores, juniors, seniors can come back and do it again, or if they didn't get certified the first time, they can come back the next year, get certified the next time. So that's why that would be a good idea, but I want everyone to be able to do it.
All right, one more round of applause. Very nice. All right, and our final group to go in the Innovative Leadership category is Financial Class.
Hello, my name is Bonnie Vu, and today I'll be presenting the Fearless Finance Club. A little bit about my background is I graduated from the University of Akron in 2014 with my Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering and $23,000 of student loan debt. Shortly after graduation, like a lot of fresh graduates do, I took out a car loan of $16,000. And even though at the age of 23 and making $60,000 a year, I did not invest in my 401k. I did not take advantage of the 4% match that my company offered. And to make things worse, even though my apartment was only $350 a month, I lived paycheck to paycheck with no savings, no emergency fund. Why did this happen? Because I was just financially irresponsible and financially illiterate. So the main objectives of this club is to learn about different types of investments, such as 401ks, Roth IRAs, and so forth and so on, and to gain financial literacy so that other students and young adults will not make the kind of financial decisions and mistakes that I did. But I had a really bad obsession with designer purses. Our mission is to educate young adults to capitalize on opportunities leading to financial freedom. And our core activities will be providing handwritten letters to have guest speakers that are entrepreneurs, business owners, financial advisors to come in and educate the students, and to inquire for donations and grants, such as the wonderful donation from Sherry's team, who donated all this money for us to happen today. And this money will go toward a pool for students to start their own financial investment portfolio, so they will get real hands-on experience to see how things like compound interest work. Our advertising and budgeting is totally free. We're going to use free platforms such as YouTube and Facebook. Did you know that YouTube is the second largest search engine in all of the World Wide Web? Here, our students will be able to make YouTube videos and create educational videos for other young adults to learn about financial investments. And the best thing about YouTube is it creates ad revenue. This ad revenue will go into the pool of donations to add to students to make their portfolios. And our Facebook page is great for a sense of community so that alumni can come back and give financial guidance to the current students. And they can also come back as guest speakers to explain about their own portfolio growth throughout the years. There are so many leadership qualities that you're going to gain from starting this club. And I did narrow them down to a few, such as empower and inspire, because finance is such a taboo subject, and it's really intimidating, but it doesn't need to be. So when you start this early, at like the age of 18, you can open up that conversation to avoid making mistakes in the future. Or teamwork and networking, because we don't need, it's not only for business majors, we need all majors. We need English majors for copywriting. We need graphic designers for their own creativity, and so many more. And confidence in success, so students will be able to see their portfolios grow from freshman year to senior year and even beyond that. A really smart man once said, compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world. He who understands it, earns it. He who doesn't, pays it. So be the person who earns and takes advantage of compound interest. Do not be the person to pay for it. Thank you. Questions?
Very nice presentation. I like your idea of bringing in the alumni because the graduating classes sometimes, you know, go out and continue to learn, and what they can bring back to the current students, I think, is invaluable. So I really like that aspect. But as far as turnover in the group, you know, like when you have a club that has so many, you know, speakers established or somebody who comes in, how will you increase like the knowledge that's changing all the time and the things that are evolving? How will you keep your club, you know, fresh with these new ideas?
So I'm a true believer that it doesn't matter how many self-help books I read, there's always something to learn. And the world of finance is always constantly changing nonstop. So there's always something to learn. And a lot of the times there's a lot of, like, you're young, so there's new classes new students every year. And I think there's always more to learn. You can never learn everything and know everything.
My question is, would you have like a pool of money that you would have students invest? Would you use like imaginary dollars?
This will be real money. So, for example, such as Sherry's investment to this group here, there are people that will invest into believing in the kids of tomorrow, right? So I'm hoping that even like $20 counts, even every penny counts, and it will go into this pool. And like I said, the YouTube revenue, because how many of you guys have kids that watch YouTube nonstop? And those people are making so much money off your children that are watching YouTube videos. YouTube revenue is real, and it can definitely be added to that pool too.
Okay. What would your funds be used for?
It would be used for the students to start real investment portfolios, so they can really, and you're young, so you can make mistakes now. If you're gonna make investment mistakes, make them now. And so the incentive is, why wouldn't a student want to do this? Because they're gonna be getting real money, and they can really take this money even after college and beyond to grow their financial portfolios even more. Anything else?
Let's give it up one more time for Bonnie.
Thank you.
Not gonna lie, Bonnie, I feel you on the designer purses. Struggle is real and ongoing and epic. All right, that concludes our innovative leadership category. We're gonna take just a short break while the judges do some tallying. I've been instructed to inform you that food and drinks are both available, not allowed in the auditorium. That's my dad voice. It's pretty convincing, wasn't it? It says call numbers to get their t-shirts. I have no idea what that means. Oh, somebody's going to do that for real. 27, 452. Yeah, I'm just calling 8675309. Thank you. Oh, these are, no, am I doing that? All right. I am also calling some raffle numbers for some gift cards, and I'm looking at some Panera money here. So if you've got a ticket, you should get it out now. Here you go. Are you ready? I think they all start 680, don't they? All right. I'm looking for 9438. All right, come on down. Bring your ticket, and I've got something special here for you. There you go. I believe you. Way to go. We've got our first winner. Also, I've got one more. 9440. All right, yes. You guys are serious about winning. Most raffle, let me see. I need to see for verification. That's not the right number. I'm just kidding. Congratulations. All right. Even if they've already gotten a ticket, get more tickets? Is this like Chicago, just like vote as often as you want? Is that what you're talking about? If you haven't gotten a ticket, a clarification, if you don't have your ticket, get a raffle ticket because we have more things to raffle. You didn't have to get quiet or anything. If you haven't gotten a t-shirt, go get a t-shirt. What's the call numbers to get their t-shirts? Did they have numbers? Okay. Hey, let's not tell Damon. Hey, thanks for coming out tonight. It's good to see you out there. I see some faculty. Hi, Janet. Eric Stoller. Word. Natalie and Kathy and Phil. How's it going? Appreciate it. Hannah. What's that? Dick Dukes. All right. Judges, how are we doing? Need another minute? Ready to go for the next category? All righty. I'm a big fan of being on time, and since the next category is supposed to start at 6:38, it is the innovative business category. When I read through the names here of the groups to go, it reads like a lineup of bands I saw in '87. Seriously, Blurry, Sudhub, Pathfinder, and Meds to Beds. Our first group for the innovative business category is Blurry. Is that you?
That's me.
All right, Sergio, make it happen.
Let's do it. All right. We'll get so caught up in our daily lives that we often forget that there's a lot of people that actually have it a lot worse than we do. There are many issues going on in the United States right now, and one of the biggest ones is the drug crisis. Every 11 minutes, someone dies in the United States due to drug overdose. This is the equivalent to the same amount of people that will die if we had a 9/11 attack every 3 weeks. That's a lot of people. I'm telling you this because this is a real issue, and this is an issue that we should all care about and that we should all work to solve together. Look, life is all about meaning and purpose. And unfortunately, there's some people that simply because they were in the wrong place in the wrong time, or because they had troubled past, they believe that there's no meaning or purpose in their lives. What these people tend to do is they turn to drugs to drown out those bad memories that made them feel that way. These people need our help. However, we way too often tend to make these people look more like criminals than like actual people that need our support. That's where Blurry, our organization, comes into the picture. Blurry is a social enterprise that will work with people in recovery in the setting of a cat flower farm. I know, flowers, sounds very simple. However, this is about much more than just flowers. Blurry will partner with organizations that try to help these people by providing them with a work environment where these people can go not only to work, but to find meaning in their lives. We want these people to feel useful again. We want these people to be heard, and we want you to change the way you see them. So I brought today with me a prototype of our product that tells the story of the person who created it. The beauty of this project is that the value of our product is not only the product itself, but the story behind it. This product shows the story of Jeff, who is a person who went through depression, and that tells the story in his design. So I'm going to read what Jeff from Focus, which is an organization from here in Findlay, says. Say, it's been a long ride out of depression. I didn't deal with death and loss well, and I was always sad and depressed. Then I went to grieving groups, and there I learned the steps of grieving and how to get through them. The groups really helped me. I've learned that people die every day and that our lives go on. On our graves, it tells the day that we were born and the day that we died. But the most important thing on this stone is the dash in the middle of these days, because the dash represents our lives. That dash means that we have to live our lives the best way we can. Try to be happy. I'm much happier now. That's what my post represents. Jeff. This is what people is going to buy from us and not from our competitors, because our product actually tells a story and actually matters. Of course, you can buy flowers from anyone else, but you're going to choose us because you know that you care about this and because you believe in our mission. Moreover, you know that you will feel good. You know you will feel good because you're going to be making a change not only in a person's life, but in your community. It's very clear that the United States is losing its war against drugs. Let's fight this war with flowers. Blurry. Better lives uplifted by rehab and responsibility. The why is you, because you can make a difference. You have any?
I have a
Sorry,
question.
You have any questions?
I have a question. So we live in a area where it's very cold for a period of time. So what is your plan during the season where even the flower shops locally are not open?
That's a good question. So we will mostly, obviously, working during the summer and during the spring years. But we also build greenhouses so we can also produce in the colder months. So we aim to do most of our production in the good months and then kind of slow down and do other kind of stuff. So we can also work with pottery. We can do many other things. So the beauty, as I said before, the important thing is that this idea can be applied to any product. We just chose flowers because we did some market research and we realized that there's a lot of potential in the Findlay area with all the universities, organizations, and there's a lot of demand and not much supply of it. But we could also offer gardening services to people in the community and so on and so.
Nicely done. It's a great concept and really needed in our community. I see a lot of costs.
There is a lot of
Where's
costs.
the revenue?
Well, the revenue, as you can tell, the first year, because this is obviously a seasonal thing, we're going to have a lot of investment in the first year, but during the second year is when we're actually going to be able to generate most of our income. So as soon as we buy the land, we buy all the machinery, the second year we don't need to go through that. It's just going to be labor and variable cost, but that's going to be covered by our income.
And where are you going to get your seed money? Your seed money.
That's a good one.
That's a good question.
Well, as I said, I'm just making sure. So who is going to buy from us? Is that what you're asking?
Well, to begin the project.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So since this is a social enterprise, we know that there's grants from the government that try to help causes like us. We will, obviously, at first we use loans, and we are planning to partner with local communities like Focus, like the person that worked with Jeff. So we were planning on giving them equity in return of a loan from them. So, but that will only be for organizations that are kind of related to our cause. We just don't want any investors that just come here just for the money. We want them to be completely in tune with what we actually do.
All right, let's give another round of applause.
That's all right.
Oh, sorry.
No, I was just going to give you a compliment. Your branding there is beautiful. It's beautiful, and you did a brilliant job on that. And the name.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Thank you.
There you go. All right. Our next group in the innovative business category, SudHub.
Hi, I'm Aaron Overheiser, again.
And I'm Marissa Pellis. Nice to see you all. When in college, how many of you would have rather brought home your laundry to do for your mom to do rather than do it in your dorm rooms? Anyone? And judges, how many of you had to do your college students' laundry? Any amount of time? Right. So all of you who raised your hand are among the majority of college students who dread doing their laundry on college campuses. So what can we do to fix this?
SudHub.
So what is it exactly? SudHub is an application that is compatible with both Apple and Android devices. Our app controls all-in-one washer and dryer units to make the laundry process more convenient for college students. Our app sends push notifications to students once their load is complete, and it also notifies the students of the availability of washer and dryer units, which will save the busy college student an unnecessary trip to the laundry room just to find out that all of the units are occupied. Our app also supplies a security feature that enables students to lock and unlock the occupied units, which will protect their belongings. Our target audience is colleges and universities who look to simplify the laundry doing process for their students. We also hope to eliminate the uncertainty of availability of washers and dryers and ultimately reduce the amount of time that students spent doing laundry and to increase the amount of time that they can spend doing more important things. Our mission is to provide a simpler and more secure laundry process for colleges and universities nationwide, and we plan to accomplish this by partnering with Whirlpool to serve as a third-party manufacturer for our Wi-Fi compatible washing units.
So our leadership structure is going to be very democratic. That will allow us to build a company founded on trust and teamwork. It will allow our employees to engage in company decisions, and it will encourage innovative ideas as this is one itself. It will be very strong in communication, decision-making, and personal growth. Our financial statement looks like this. We have fixed costs to rent machinery from Whirlpool, and then we'll have a lot of variable manufacturing costs, including labor costs, materials and production supplies for the washer and dryers. We also have an app startup cost of $150,000, which is very expensive, to put on the App Store and the Android market. We will pay staff wages for, at the start, 10 employees for our app and our sales representatives that we hope to go out and gather interest for our idea. Our profit for each unit would be $2,500, and our application subscription would be $150 per student. That would give us a monthly break-even of about 13 units or 4 schools of 3,000 students. Our projected value would be $8,016,000 in 1 year of sales, and that's if we get into 25 schools of 3,000 on-campus students, and we sell them 10 smart washer and dryer units. If you look at our table here, as you can see, 13 units sold is 0 profit, break even, and 4 units of 3,000 students for our app subscription is also our break even. Our 1 year goal is to reach that 25 schools with 3,000 students and to sell each school 10 units. Our 5-year plan is to reach 125 small schools and to reach 100 Division I schools. This would force us to hire a lot more employees to handle our labor, logistics, and technical issues. So who's ready to give Mom a break and give SudHub a try?
Thank you. Do you have any questions for us?
So is this moving out the old in a college university and moving in the smart units, correct?
Yes, so
Okay.
the units that we currently have are not Wi-Fi compatible and they're outdated. So we're looking to also save space because currently in the university dormitories we have washer and dryers. So, and we have 4 of each. So by adding the all-in-one washing and drying units, that will enable us to put more in. So a dorm of 200 students doesn't have to share 4 washers and 4 dryers.
And it doesn't force them to take students' loads out and put them on the table while they're soaking wet.
Well, that was my question. If you can lock these units, what's to prevent a student from, locking these units for a
So
day?
each student would get a code, and it would be their ID code. So we have student IDs here at Findlay, and we didn't have time to cover it in our presentation, but we were going to talk about the code that we would give each of our students so that they could type that little code in on a push pad, and they could get their load out. So each student would get their own individual load.
But my question is, what if I lock my clothes in there and I don't get to them for another day or two? So
Oh.
is there any way to override that?
Go ahead.
Of course, we would be able to make one. Currently, if something happens, the RA is the one who gets in touch with the students, so I'm sure that they could facilitate the locking and unlocking of the units as they currently are.
On the app, you would have that unlocking ability with our security features. So you could unlock it from the app. You could say, hey, could you get your load unlocked if a student needed it, and they could unlock it through the app. They could take it out, you know, if that's what need be. It's just, she's in the dorm room, and people are taking out her soaking wet clothes from the washer and dryer, and, you know, and what are you supposed to do? Now they're soaking wet, and they didn't even get dried. So you got to start all over again.
That's where this idea was born from, real world experience.
Have you guys inquired with Whirlpool? You mentioned their name quite a bit. Have you maybe spoken to them or sent them? Have you done any research with them specifically?
So I actually have a teammate on my team, Ricardo Smith. I don't know if you guys know him. He works for Marathon now. Well, he did an internship with Marathon. He works down at, did an internship with Whirlpool, works at Marathon now. So I asked him, what's Whirlpool's, you know, kind of thinking upon third party? You know, will they do that? He said they have a huge factory right in the area that we could possibly rent out that space, and we would have to get the machinery, obviously, and stuff like that. But it is possible. It actually is possible, which surprised us. Like, you could actually do this if we wanted to. And I think that it would be a profitable idea.
And the reason we chose Whirlpool was because it's local in Ohio. So we like the idea of keeping it local in Ohio.
Have they started any development at all with regards to the systems that they already have?
So they just got one in their house. You can explain.
Yeah, my mom and my dad just got Wi-Fi compatible washing units that my mom can sync to her phone. Now, it's not for colleges, and it doesn't have the features that we decided for SudHub, but it does notify her when she's sitting at her desk at work that her laundry's done. So they do exist, and it's feasible. So
ours would just be different.
All right.
Thank you.
Give one more round of applause.
This is the last you'll be seeing us, I promise. We're not going to be up here again.
Mom's like that one.
All right, our last group to go in the innovative business category, it's my understanding, is Pathfinder. Pathfinder, come on down.
You're all seeing an awful lot of us today, aren't you? All right, so my name is Nicole Bosserman again, and I'm here to talk to you about my business, Pathfinder Equestrian Services. So a couple of weeks ago, I was on an equestrian forum, and I found a post titled, "Things Trainers Do That Cause Them to Lose Customers." And I was curious, and it actually ended up getting over 120 replies of all these awful things that trainers tend to do to lose customers. And if you want to browse through that for a second, feel free. But a lot of the issues are kind of horrible and would never be accepted in any other business except the equine industry. But one post really stuck out to me, and it said, long story short, be a good person, treat others the way you want to be treated. Why is that so hard? Why is that so hard? So I kind of boiled it down to three main issues in the equine industry: communication, a lack of business knowledge, and an overarching lack of education. Horse people are horse people. They were raised on farms. Most of them don't go to college or didn't have the chance, and they spend a lot of time relating to equines and not so much to humans. And that can kind of hinder them when they're working in their business practices. My business, Pathfinder Equestrian Services, aims to not only help in the consulting side of things with current businesses that are failing, helping them find the issues that they have, and also on the lesson side, helping people who are homegrown, they have their horses at home. So as I just discussed, the consulting, I would be going on site and helping these businesses devise a better plan to improve their customer relations and improve their marketing. But I'd also be going to clients who don't have access to traditional lesson programs and helping them as well. So that way we have customers who expect more and will not take less, but we also have business owners who can give them more. So why are we different? So number one, I'm traveling to client sites. Most people, you have to board your horse, and it's extremely expensive, and then you have to trailer your horse to an arena, and it's just an exorbitant price. So my business would be traveling to them. I go to their home. I teach them where they are so that they don't have to pay those prices, and they can be comfortable where they are. I also have the pre-lesson assessment, which I actually gave you guys a sample of if you want to look it over, which helps me devise good customized lessons for these people. And then one of the most important aspects is referrals to other equine professionals. That's where our key partners come in. Our local veterinarians, our local farriers, our equine massage therapists, you know, all of the equine professionals, so that if we can't help a horse and rider, we can send them to someone who can. That's fostering a community in Findlay between all of our equine professionals, and that's fostering a less competitive environment that actually harms the horses and riders we're trying to help. So financially, I did this just for one employee, but of course we would have more than one employee, but just showing you with one single employee working over the year, even after all expenses have been calculated, and if you want to check, you can look on page 8 of the packet. After all expenses have been calculated, we still turn a profit of over $33,000. And then still, even with only one employee, if we kept at a very conservative growth rate of only 5%, we'd be worth almost $1 million after 10 years, which for one employee, that's nothing. Now imagine it with multiple employees, even just 5 or 10, those numbers grow. We can do that because we have a very low overhead, almost no fixed costs, because we don't own our own barn. We aren't running around with a lesson string of horses that need to be fed every day. We are traveling to clients, whether it be business professionals who need our help or other just people in their backyard who need lessons and don't have access to them. The biggest expenses are just travel, which actually the customers end up covering, and then employee salaries. Now, starting employees will start at $35,000 plus bonuses a year, which is actually in the equine industry very competitive for a starting salary. So basically, it is very financially feasible to make this happen. My mission is to every equestrian, a better human, a better horse person. I want to improve people on the grassroots level so that eventually we can improve the equine industry by showing clients a healthier way to work with humans and horses, both professionally and personally. So I hope you guys know that this is a huge, horse-friendly town here in Findlay. We have our big equestrian program, so this is a big market, and I would love to start that change here in Findlay. Thank you for listening. I hope you had a good time. I'll take your questions.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So being a trainer in a different capacity, I know that there's a lot of insurance that you have to cover being a trainer, and I don't see anything listed in your expenses as insurance. Or do you know if there's any special insurance that a trainer would require to hold?
It would only usually depend on if you own the facility, because we are going to the other facility, and of course this would only apply to the lesson portion and not to the consulting portion of the business. But to the lesson portion, because we are going to another person's facility, they are the ones who actually carry the insurance. Because it's your horse, so you have the liability and it's in your facility, and then also the equine liability laws kind of help cover that. So insurance is available, it's fairly cheap, and that's why we have a little bit of leeway in there with that extra profit, so that after we look more into it and we see what insurance we need with some experience, then we can get it and we still have money left over.
Nice presentation again.
Thank you.
Just wanted to ask you a couple of things. Typically in consulting, you're obviously experienced in the area of equestrian studies, but sometimes certifications add legitimacy to consulting services. So do you know, or would you plan on doing is there any kind of certification for being a consultant in this area?
It's one of the reasons why this business is different, because the equine industry is so wildly competitive to the point of insanity sometimes. There really aren't any equine consultancy things. Like, I went looking for them and I couldn't find any, because no one wants to tell their competition how to do better. But because of the way we do our lessons, we aren't competing with the people that we are consulting for. We're going home to those people, and then the people we consult for we aren't competing with. But because of it's so rare that you don't see it, there aren't any certifications, but there are things like certified riding instructors and things like that that we could get. But as far as equine consulting, there just really aren't any.
All right, one more round of applause for Nicole. And I don't think the meds to beds, they're not here, right? Just making sure. All right. So that concludes our innovative business category. We are now at intermission part 2, and I've been given more tickets, more raffle. Pull out your ticket. Look at your numbers. Are you ready? Here's another Panera card coming at you. 9473. Nobody? 73? 9473? All right. In that case, how about 9472? All right. I do need one more, though. I do need one. 9463? All right. Oh, wait. What's that? 63. I know that's this one. I'm just giving out cards, dude. Apparently it's all Aaron. Aaron gets all the cards. Dick Dukes? What, you trying to cut me off? There's no cutting me off. What do you mean? Cut me off. Who do you have to know to get all your numbers drawn, dude? He don't know. In case you didn't know, from the last time I told you this, there's food out there. You can't bring it in here, so you should go out there and eat it. Also, if you've not yet received a t-shirt, you should get one. They're pretty cool. They look like this. And if you thought perhaps maybe my name was Garner, it's not, but I play on Team Garner, so I'm happy for that. No, actually, you do recognize me, but you don't know where it's from because I'm not in a suit. I live in the apartment on the second floor of College of Business for Student Life, right? It's a 2-bedroom, 1.5 bath. Have you been in that office? It's ginormous. Natalie? She's just back there. All right. What, will I stop? There's no stopping. You can't stop. You can only have to continue. All right. Organizational leadership is our next category. So those contestants, get ready. Judges, how are we doing? Still tabulating? You look furiously tabulating over there.
Are we voting or scoring, not voting, but scoring the meds to beds even though they're not presenting?
There's a voice from out there that said no.
Okay, thanks.
Actually, it said no. Yeah. What did I say? Organizational leadership case study category? Is that right? Sweet. All right. I'm just looking over there. Doing great. Still going. Need a second? I've got tons of jokes. I don't have any jokes. I don't know why. Oh my goodness. No, so you're talking about the Internet of Things with your washer and dryer connected to the internet, right? Wi-Fi. My fridge is actually connected to the internet. So is my dishwasher, and they just contact me all the time, and they're just sad and lonely at my house. But the joke that I got from over here was, why did this? What was it again?
Why do you knock on a refrigerator?
Oh, that's a good one. Because you might have a salad dressing. What? Get it? It's a salad, and it's in the dressing. Oh, well, you know the one like, why is 7 afraid of 6? No, wait, I did it wrong. Why is 6 afraid of 7? This is why I don't tell jokes like that. Why was 6? You know that one though. Why is 6 afraid of 7? Because 7, 8, 9. But do you know why 7, 8, 9? Because you're supposed to eat 3 squared meals a day. 9 is. That's exactly the response I was expecting and hoping for. The grunt. Thank you. Thank you. That's right. Listen. You don't get to be 50 years old and a dad without telling a truckload of dad jokes. All right, judges, we good? Yes. I've stalled as long as I possibly can for the love of all that's holy. Our next group, organizational leadership case study. Our first group to go is accounting club. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Hello, my name is Laura Harper, and I am the president of Accounting Club.
And my name is Sydney Brown, and I'm the treasurer of the Accounting Club.
As you can see, we have 3 more names on our title slide, but today is tax day, and 2 of these people work at a CPA firm, so they're working, and Jenna had to go home for a family emergency, so you're stuck with us.
So to give you a brief recap on what our case was, is we are the president of a student organization, and we are tasked with holding an event, and 2 ideas are proposed. However, we can only fund one. One idea proposed is from a senior, Jake, and he is a close friend of ours. And the second idea proposed is from a sophomore, Susan, and we don't necessarily see eye to eye with her at all times. And to help us reach a conclusion, we hold an organizational vote. However, it is a split vote with strong opinions on both sides. So our case, we were tasked to decide how to choose which proposal and then how to deal with potential backlash that might occur.
Okay, so the first step in deciding whose event to fund is to understand what the goal of this event is, which in our case is to increase group awareness and group membership. So with that in mind, we are going to evaluate the 2 options from Jake and Susan based on a return on investment strategy. So in this example, the investment would be our initial cost monetary-wise, and then our time that we'd have to put in to hold this event. And the return is our increase in group membership and group awareness. So we're evaluating Susan and Jake's ideas. We want to choose the proposal with the greatest return on investment, so the greatest increase in membership with the least initial time and money that we have to put into it. So if Susan has a better idea than Jake, even though we might be good friends with Jake, he should not receive any favoritism over Susan's idea if she has a better proposal.
As I said earlier, there is the potential for backlash occurring for choosing one idea over the other. And to address this, we should encourage the individual and to stay involved in the event planning. This could be by implementing some of their ideas that they had for their proposal and putting it into the selected one, following which we can have them lead those events. And we also want them to know that their idea is valued. While we can only fund this one event this time, in the future there could be the possibility to fund their proposal.
In addition to encouraging the member whose idea was not selected, we have to encourage all members of the group. So as we previously stated, everybody who voted within the organization has strong opinions one way or the other on whose proposal they like best. So to get everybody rallying behind this one event, we want to remind them all that even though they might have different opinions, this is one group, and they need to get behind the cause, because in the end, both events have a goal of increasing group membership and awareness. So to do this, we'll explain how our proposal that we selected will most benefit the organization, as well as assigning each member within the organization a role in the event planning, in the putting on of the event. And also, we want to reiterate that it is a learning experience on all sides within the organization.
So to conclude, it is best to understand that there will be conflict, no matter how small, big or small, and we should address it in the best way possible, which is in the best goal for the organization. And we also must keep in mind that we are one team moving towards one goal, and that's to help grow our organization and make it more aware to other individuals. And it is also best to keep an open mind, free from bias. If Susan has the better idea, we must forego that we might not always get along with her if it's in the greater benefit for our organization. That's all. Thank you.
Any questions from our judges? Yeah, no? No. Not feeling it. All right, thank you very much. One more round of applause for our Accounting Club case study group. Nice. All right, the next group to go in our case study category is Circle K.
Hello, so we are with University of Findlay Circle K's UF Miracle. So we are a service-based organization, and our UF Miracle portion raises funds for Children's Miracle Network hospitals. So my name is Madison Arnold, and I am the overall director for the 2019-2020 school year.
My name's Gabby Hopkins. I'm the assistant director for this school year.
My name is Shelby Wilder, and I'm the marketing director.
So our case this year was there is a divide between upperclassmen and lowerclassmen within our organization. And this is starting to lead to difficulty agreeing on events, and it is also starting to deter from newer members joining our group. And we want to make sure that our group can become more supportive and more like a family.
So in order to address this issue and make all of our members feel welcome, we want to remind the group why we're there. We're all in the same club, which means we all have similar interests in that event. So like everyone in our club, we're really passionate about raising money for the sick kids at the Children's Hospital in Toledo. So we want to really bring back the commonality that our group has. We also want to reiterate that it's a team dynamic. What's going to happen to our club if we deter new members from coming? The club's going to cease to exist. So we need to foster that teamwork so our club can continue to grow. And then we want to give people an open space to air their grievances if they're having any issues. So having a face-to-face with Madison or me if they're having issues, if they're uncomfortable with that, doing it anonymously. And then as a group, we can decide if it's an issue or if we just need to talk to that person one-on-one or address the whole group.
So when looking at repairing the divide that has been formed within our group, we want to make sure that we make team bonding a priority. We want to make this group more like a family. Icebreakers, I know they can get monotonous. Sometimes people might think they get boring. You do them at the beginning of every class, the beginning of every semester. But it really gives you a chance to dive deeper into who the members of your group are. And then we also like to do fun things such as go to dinner. We've gone to Texas Roadhouse or maybe La Charita just to get some dinner and spend time with each other. And then we also like to do compliment circles. So it really forces everyone to, well, I shouldn't say force, but it encourages everyone to make sure that everyone in the group feels welcome and feels like they have done their part. So we sit in a circle and we make sure to send a compliment to every person in the group and really make it feel like we're one big family. Another option is to actually break our organization up into like smaller families. Our organization's usually above 20 people, so breaking it up into 3 or 4, maybe doing more of like a mentor-mentee program, making sure that they're grouped together based on commonalities, such as their major or just certain interests that they might have, can really encourage people to work together, and the younger members might not feel comfortable opening up to a group of 25, but it might encourage them to bring up their ideas in a group of 2 or 3.
So everyone knows that college kids talk and they're gossip, and it's worse on smaller campuses, so like in Findlay. So more than likely, if a club had a falling out or an issue, people are going to know about it, and nobody wants to join a club that they know that there is conflict in. So another thing we looked at was fixing our public image if this did get out that we had an issue going on. So one of our ideas was to do maybe a social media challenge, so maybe having our committee members post a picture of them on their personal social media with like club gear on and talk about why they are a part of the organization. That could help show all of their followers that that we're all a part of a big community and we all have one big goal. And then another idea was to actually post on our social medias about the different team bondings that we did. So if we did go out to dinner, or if we did do a cool icebreaker, if we took a video or a picture of that and posted it on our social media and let people know that what we were doing, it would also show our followers what we were doing and that it was good, that we were all for one big goal. And then also just doing events on campus are all a very big thing to do together. So.
And then in order to prevent this in the future, we want to make sure our group knows that it is a democracy. Everyone's opinion matters, everyone is valued, and they can bring their new ideas to give us more lateral decision making so we can have more novel ideas, and it's not just the people at the top of the pyramid making decisions. Everyone is valued.
All right, that's the time that you guys have for presentation. So, questions from the judges?
Thank you.
All right, let's give it up for Circle K. Very nice. I am definitely not in charge of the clicker. Let's just make that clear right off the bat. It would be lost. I don't know if this is how it's supposed to be said, but it's how I'm going to say it. Our last entry for tonight is Truck Club. It felt right. I just went with it. I felt it.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Patrick Haig, and I'm actually one of the founding fathers of Truck Club about 3 years ago.
My name's Phil Hollingshead. I'm also a founding father.
My name's Lindsay Crouch, and I'm the new vice president.
So we were given case study 2B, and we provided the full case study for Lindsay to provide for you.
Within your student organization, Jake and Susan both have great ideas for events that will potentially bring in a lot of new members and provide great advertising for your group. However, as the president of the organization, you can only fund one event. Jake is a senior and one of your closest friends. Susan is a sophomore, and you don't always see eye to eye. You have asked the members of the organization to vote on the event, but it was a split decision with strong opinions on both sides.
So question one, how are we going to decide whose event gets funded? So it ended with a tiebreaker. We're going to check the Constitution and see if there is a certain person designated to break the tie. And a lot of constitutions that I've seen from many clubs, it's the president. So as the president, we're going to pro-con each event. We need to keep in mind, regardless of our relationships with each person and their event, we need to pick the event that's going to best benefit the club, because we're going forward, not backward.
So how do you deal with backlash of the person's idea that got rejected? So this is pretty blunt, but theoretically there shouldn't be any backlash because we are all adults. We're a professional club funded by the university on this campus, so we're here for bettering this campus most importantly, as well as the president of the organization has a responsibility to put the best interest of the club regardless of personal relationships. So as a part of mitigating backlash, I think the club members should realize that it was made in the best interest the decision was made in the best interest of the club and should be supported.
So how are we going to motivate the members who initially voted for the other idea to support the winning idea? So obviously we're going to present that pro and con list that we made and explain why that idea that we chose is best going to benefit the club. It's best going to move us forward in one direction with one goal, because we can't show favoritism. That's not the job of a president. The president's job is to advance the club in any way possible. Any questions?
I have a question. So, of course, the professionalism and maturity level of each person in the club may be different. So, if someone would happen to put something out there in social media or in a social presence that does give some backlash, how would you address that? Because it would need some addressing, correct?
So, as far as backlash on social media, if it was brought to the attention or to the president, all the committee members, all the offices of the club, I would say they would sit down and devise a plan together, and then possibly have a private meeting with that individual that had that, and possibly ask them to take it down, or if not, then maybe they would be denied admission to that club any further.
Nice presentation. I like the club, by the way. It's right in my wheelhouse. Anyway, probably smaller trucks than what I get to work with every day. But nice presentation. Conflict resolution, right? Conflict resolution. So for all of these folks, I think these presentations, very good that you're looking at your bylaws and what you need to have. Protocols in place, procedures in place, just in case these things would happen. That was a good call, good place to start. But I think also it's the mission. What are we here for? And obviously there are folks, there are going to be members in your club that care about the same thing, right? That's why they're in the club. So at the end of the day, we care about the same thing. So this is, I guess, more than a comment than a question. For all these groups, is just emphasizing mission and the importance of mission and why you're there.
All right, let's give it up one more time. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Truck Club. I was getting ready to say something. I do want to say though, like we should all be adults, and we are. Some of us are like full-grown adults, and trust me, it doesn't change, does it? Judges, no. You're with me. You feel me on that one. All right. While we're here, one more quick round of applause for all the groups that have gone, because that's impressive. Nice job. Thank you. Oh, and I've got one more. Buffalo Wild Wings. Looks like Damon Osborne's winner. No. No? All right, 9453. 9453, is it you? Are you a winner? Get you some. There you go. All right. Well, we actually ended up going a little shorter than we had planned, so I've got plenty of extra time for my interpretive dance, where I'm going to cycle through. Thank you in advance. I appreciate the applause when you haven't even seen it. I will cycle through each of the prior presentations in the. No, I will not do anything. I will stall only long enough for the judges to do what they need to do. One more reminder on food. Is there any food left over there, Kirby? Because I saw some of those big guys getting some. Yeah? Still food. I myself had one of the mini egg rolls, 3 pieces of cantaloupe, and 3 crackers, and I find myself completely satisfied. That was a more than sufficient dinner for me. But get some more food. If you don't have your T-shirt, get your T-shirt. Oh, I do have one more joke for you. This is a good one. I just saw Natalie roll her eyes from way back there. That's awesome. I call it a victory. So this nut, this peanut was walking down the street, just minding his own business. He wasn't doing anything harsh to anybody, just living his life, living that peanut dream, as it were. All of a sudden, he sensed a presence behind him. There's this other nut following him. And he's like, all right, whatever. Picks up the pace a little bit. The nut behind him gets closer and closer, and all of a sudden he's running. The peanut is running full speed. This other nut's right behind him, and he's like, dude, what are you doing? He's like, I'm going to catch you. Right? Killer. That's a dead joke. Judges, how we doing over there? Oh my goodness, are you serious? You're already ready to go? Okay. I don't know. Who's doing the awards presentation? That's not me too, right, Kirby? Who's doing that? The judges? You? All right. I think the judges have reached their decisions. Oh, they are? Oh, I see out there. Yes. Okay. Right. Yeah. Math. Do what? Trumpet solo. Yeah, so I don't know what Kirby told you all that I was going to be able to do up here, like some kind of magic something. Dick Dukes is not shutting my mic off.
Would any of the students have questions for the judges, Kirby?
Yes. Yes.
Or Dr.
Hold on a second, real quick. An announcement to anybody who wins. Once we do this, please stick around so that Dr. Overton can get your name and student ID number, because if you're getting paid, we need to have that info.
I don't know if there was any, any students that might have questions for the judges in our businesses. And
yeah.
What we do.
That's a great
fill
stall.
Some space.
Yeah.
So my name is Julie Williamson Wright, and I work for I've been in the technology field for over 20 years, and I'm a graduate of the University of Findlay in technology management, which apparently no longer exists, but that's okay. I'm just showing my age a little bit. I have my master's degree from Bowling Green State University in organizational change management. And what I do is I go into companies and I build strategies and then execute those strategies on how they deal with the people side of their business whenever there's major changes to their business. So when people are implementing large software programs like ERP programs, like SAP. I worked for SAP for quite some time, and/or changing all their business processes. I go in and help them with those. So I've worked with a lot of different Fortune 50, Fortune 500 companies, and I travel a lot. Yeah, so I live here and have lived here a really long time, but I travel a lot.
Hello, I'm Susan Treese, and prior to owning Findlay Brewing Company, I worked at Tiffin University for 30 years. Go Dragons, sorry. I was the CIO and a professor of information technology, so I've seen a lot of changes in those 30, 40 years. But now I'm retired, and I'm the owner of Findlay Brewing with my husband, my son, and 2 of his childhood friends, actually. So yeah, it's been fun.
Thank you for owning that, by the way.
Yeah, some real good beer there. I've heard. I don't know myself. Just Natalie told me that.
So the rest of the story, I attended, well, I graduated from Liberty Benton High School, so I'm an Eagle, go Eagles. Once an Eagle, always an Eagle. But then I went off to the Ohio State University and have a degree in music education and taught for 5 years. And as a band director, we have this common bond.
It's a great job.
Yes, a great job.
I've done it before.
And while I was there, I worked on my master's degree from the Bowling Green State University. So I have a master's degree in guidance and career counseling. I found that I spent a lot of time with my students on the bus going to contests and Friday night football games, and I just got very close with my students, and so I enjoy that. And along the way, got the tug to come back to the family business, and my father got ill. It was always going to be a temporary gig, and it always is a temporary. And a lot of folks say, band director, business owner. A lot of it is legacy, it's heritage. But I think of my fleet, my trucking fleet of 100 trucks, like a big marching band. I have my tuba players, and I have my, sneaky percussion players, and I have trumpeters that think they own the band.
They do. They do.
So, and that's where I am today.
All right, I'm going to give you the elevator version because I feel like I've kind of evolved as an entrepreneur kind of the hard way. So I have multiple degrees, mostly healthcare background. So I have a bachelor's degree in healthcare administration and a master's degree in health and wellness psychology, actually. But decided to move away from working for other people and started my own business. And I've done that successfully for over 3 years. I own Treads Gym and CrossFit 458. And those continue to grow and evolve. They're fun. They're where someone asks you, what do you want to do for the rest of your life? And this is it. So I always say I help people from sickness to wellness and anywhere on that spectrum. I thoroughly enjoy it. But now, starting in January, I saw a job opening that said help other people start businesses. So I work for the Hancock Hardin Wyandotte Putnam, so HHWP-CAC, the Community Action Commission, and I teach business classes. So I actually help people create business plans and take people that may not otherwise know what to do to start a business and help them implement a very solid business plan. So I call that my hobby job. I thoroughly enjoy it. And then I believe this fall, I'll be helping with the business classes here on the University of Findlay campus. So greatly honored to be a part of that and super excited about seeing students here. So thanks for having me.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing. Before we do the announcement of the winners, I do want to point out one thing from all 4 judges. You all talked about where you started something and then you're doing something different, and there's paths that evolved. I did the same thing. I was a band director for 8 years, and then I did technology integration for 7 years, and then I got into higher education for the last 13, 14 years or so. So where you start is not always where you finish, but start someplace, do a good job, and where you finish will be something great. I promise you that. So, all right, I'll have the announcement of our winners come on up. I'll get out of the way.
Right, good evening. So we had 3 categories today, and for the first category for Innovative Leadership Challenge, first place goes to ACES. Alrighty, for second place goes to 4 Paws. And in third place is the Financial Club. Alrighty, for our next category, which was the Innovative Business Challenge, our first place was Sud Hub. Alrighty, in second place was Blurry. And finally, in third place was Pathfinder. Alrighty, and our final category was the organizational case study. And our first place was Circle K. Alrighty, in second place is Truck Club. And in third place is the Accounting Club.
All right, let's give one more round of applause to all of our participants. Again, far better than, I don't even want to talk about it. I think back to myself at 18 to 22, and you guys do a great job, and I would have maybe shown up. All right, I'm going to have the judges come on up, and while they're coming up, I would like to thank the audience for coming out today, and I'd also like to thank the judges for their time. Taking time out of their evening, if they can get out of the area which we've pinned them in apparently. All right. As a token of our appreciation for you coming out this evening, I think we've gotten you all a gift here, and I just want to, thank you very much for judging for us this evening. We really appreciate it. And also for the insight that you've provided for our students. Let's give it up for our judges. All right, thank you very much for coming out tonight. This concludes our portion of the program. Please get more food across, I mean, seriously. Those many egg rolls won't eat themselves.